What if I told you that the single most famous image in the entire health and fitness world, the one you see on every keto blog, every diet app, and every Instagram influencer's feed, is actually a visual trap? I'm talking about the Keto Pie Chart. You know the one. It commands you to fill 70% of your daily calorie intake with pure fat. On paper, the math seems perfect. It looks like the golden ticket to weight loss. But inside the biology of your body, that chart is often creating a disastrous physiological conflict. By following that image blindly, you might be physically starving your stomach while simultaneously stalling your weight loss engine. This isn't just about the annoyance of tight jeans or the number on the scale not moving for 3 weeks. This is about the mechanics of a broken hybrid engine. Think of your body like a high-tech car that is designed to run on 2 fuel sources: the food you just ate and the stored fat you are carrying. When you follow the pie chart without understanding the science, you trap yourself in a state of metabolic purgatory. You remain stuck in a gray zone where your body cannot efficiently burn the heavy load of dietary fat you are eating, but it also cannot access the body fat you are desperate to lose. You are quite literally swimming in fuel. You are eating it, and you are storing it, yet your engine is sputtering and stalling. This leads to the condition so many of you are facing, metabolic syndrome, but it shows up in your life as something much more personal. It shows up as chronic, unexplainable fatigue. I want you to check in with yourself right now. Are you strictly cutting carbohydrates? Are you saying no to the bread basket? Are you doing everything right according to the rules? Yet every single day around 2 or 3 p.m., you experience that crushing afternoon crash. You feel that heavy, thick brain fog where you can't find the right words in a meeting, or you walk into a room and forget why you are there. We often tell ourselves, this is just normal aging. We think, well, I'm over 40 now, this is just how it is. I am here to tell you, that is a myth. That fatigue is not normal. It is a biological distress signal. Your body is screaming for energy that it physically cannot access because of a specific metabolic malfunction, a rusty lock on your cells that we need to clean. If we don't fix this, that brain fog doesn't just stay annoying, it becomes the standard operating system for your brain. We need to stop looking at the pie chart and start looking at the biochemistry of your hunger. The real villain in this story is not fat itself. Fat is an essential nutrient. The villain is a deception I call the volume illusion. You see, the fundamental problem with that pie chart is that it confuses calories with physics. Fat is incredibly dense. It packs 9 calories per gram. Vegetables, on the other hand, are chemically light, carrying only about 4 calories per gram. When your brain sees 70% fat on a chart, it instinctively imagines a plate that is 70% covered in cheese, heavy cream, and oil. But if you eat that way, you are fighting a losing battle against the physics of satiety. To understand why you feel hungry even when you just ate, you have to understand how your stomach actually works. It is not just a fuel tank, it is a sensory organ. Your stomach has 2 distinct types of sensors that talk to your brain. First, you have chemoreceptors. These sense nutrients and fat. They tell your brain, okay, we have received energy. But you also have mechanoreceptors. These are literal stretch sensors lining the walls of your stomach. They only fire when the stomach physically expands. They tell your brain, I am full. The pie chart approach fails because it ignores the stretch sensors. You eat a high-fat meal that is calorically dense but physically tiny. Your chemoreceptors might be whispering, we have food, but your mechanoreceptors are screaming, we are empty. This disconnect creates a panic signal in the brain, driving you to hunt for snacks an hour later. But the problem goes deeper than just your stomach. It goes right down to the cellular level. This is where we need to decode the rusty lock. This is the reason for your brain fog and that stubborn belly fat. I want you to close your eyes for a second and visualize a single cell in your body. Picture the cell membrane as a clean, shiny, metallic door. In a healthy metabolism, you have a keyhole in that door. This is the insulin receptor. When you eat, your pancreas produces a key. That's the hormone insulin. In a healthy body, the key slides smoothly into the shiny keyhole, unlocks the door, and lets fuel inside to be burned for energy. But after years of the standard American diet, years of processed carbs, sugars, and constant snacking, that keyhole doesn't stay shiny. It becomes corroded. It gets covered in biological rust. This is the visual definition of insulin resistance. Now, when you eat, your body produces the key, but it jams in the rusty lock. It cannot turn. Consequently, the glucose molecules, which you should visualize as sticky dark maple syrup, pile up outside the door. They cannot get in. So, you have this tragic paradox: your cells are starving on the inside, which is why you are tired, while your blood is turning to syrup on the outside, which is why you are storing fat. To clean this rust, you need to lower your insulin levels. But you cannot do that if you are falling for the pie chart paradox. Visualize two dinner plates side by side. On the left, you have the math. This plate represents 70% fat calories. To hit that number, the plate is covered in yellow oils, melted cheese, and maybe 3 eggs. It looks greasy, and crucially, it is physically small. It creates almost no volume in the stomach. Now look at the plate on the right. This represents the reality. To get those exact same caloric ratios correctly, this plate looks completely different. It is a massive mountain of green leaves, spinach, kale, arugula, taking up 50% of the visual space. It has a piece of steak and a modest controlled dollop of fat. Both plates have the same keto ratios, but only the plate on the right stretches the stomach, satisfies the brain, and provides the nutrients to clean the rusty lock. The mistake most people make is trying to replicate the math using fake foods. They go to the grocery store and buy keto bread or low-carb tortillas that claim to have 0 net carbs. But if you flip that package over, you will see ingredients like modified wheat starch. In many people, specifically those with that rusty lock, this starch acts just like white bread. It spikes your blood sugar, it pours more sticky syrup over your cells, and it shuts down your fat-burning engine immediately. We have to stop eating the math and start eating the reality. So, if we take that confusing pie chart and throw it in the trash, what do we replace it with? We replace it with a visual tool I call the simple plate rule, or the 50 halves 525 method. This is not about counting calories on an app. It is about manipulating the physics of your stomach to trigger that dual lock on hunger we talked about earlier. We're going to ignore the abstract percentages and focus entirely on the physical real estate of the plate sitting right in front of you. This is the blueprint for rebuilding your metabolism. Step 1 is what I call the green foundation. I want you to look at your dinner plate and draw a line right down the middle. 50% of that plate, literally half the physical space, must be filled with non-starchy vegetables. We are talking about dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard, or cruciferous heavyweights like broccoli, cauliflower, and asparagus. Now, I know what you are thinking. That looks like a lot of food. And you are right. To get the ratios correct, this equates to about 7 to 10 cups of vegetables a day. Why so much? Because this provides the sheer physical bulk needed to stretch those mechanical sensors in your stomach wall. This sends the "I am full" signal to your brain before you have even finished eating. But there is a second hidden benefit. These greens are packed with potassium. Remember that afternoon crash and fatigue? That is often a potassium deficiency. By eating this mountain of greens, you are essentially recharging your body's battery and preventing the keto flu. Step 2 is the protein structure. This takes up 25% of your plate. We are aiming for a palm-sized portion, roughly 3 to 6 ounces, of fatty protein. Think of a well-marbled ribeye steak, a fillet of salmon with the skin on, or 3 to 4 whole eggs. I need to pause here and address a major fear. There is a persistent myth in the low-carb community that if you eat too much protein, your body will magically turn it into chocolate cake through a process called gluconeogenesis. For the vast majority of you watching this, that fear is completely overblown. You are not a delicate flower. You are a human being who needs structure. As we age, specifically past 35, we naturally lose muscle mass. If you lose muscle, you lower your metabolic rate. You need this protein to protect your lean mass, which is the very furnace that burns fat. Do not skimp on the protein. Step 3 is the remaining 25%, the fat lever. This is where you use high-quality fats like avocado oil, grass-fed butter, or ghee. But notice the word I used, lever. Fat is a lever, not a goal. This is the biggest mistake people make. They think they need to hit a fat goal to be healthy. No, if you have body fat on your waistline that you want to lose, you want your body to burn that fat, not the stick of butter you put in your coffee. You use the dietary fat on your plate just enough to make the meal delicious and to satisfy those chemical sensors in your brain. Once you feel satisfied, you stop. You let your body harvest the rest of the energy from your own stores. Finally, I have a specific tool for those of you battling that stubborn brain fog. It is a specific type of fat called C8 MCT oil. Not all MCT oils are created equal. C8 caprylic acid is unique because it bypasses your digestion entirely. It goes straight to the liver, where it is instantly converted into ketones, little packets of energy that cross the blood-brain barrier and fuel your brain directly. It is like injecting high-octane fuel into a sputtering engine. It wakes your brain up almost instantly. However, a word of caution, it is potent. Start with just 1 teaspoon. If you take a whole tablespoon, on day 1, you will experience severe digestive distress. Treat it with respect, and it will be a game changer for your mental clarity. Before we wrap up, I need to protect you from one final trap that is likely hiding in your kitchen pantry right now. As this way of eating became popular, big food companies rushed in to cash in. They filled the supermarket shelves with bars, shakes, and candies stamped with keto-certified and bold claims of only 2 net carbs. There is a dangerous myth that if a package says net carbs, it is automatically safe for your metabolism. It is not. You have to turn that package over and become a detective. I want you to look for a specific sweetener called Maltitol. It is cheap, it creates a nice texture, and it is found in almost every sugar-free chocolate on the market. But here is the dirty secret. Maltitol has a glycemic index that is nearly half that of table sugar. For a diabetic or someone with significant insulin resistance, eating maltitol is biologically almost the same as eating sugar. It spikes your blood glucose. It triggers that insulin response we are trying to heal, and it causes severe bloating. It can single-handedly kick you out of fat-burning mode while you think you are being good. If you see maltitol, put it back. I also have a very serious medical warning for my viewers over 40, specifically those of you taking medication for high blood pressure. We need to talk about the physiology of what happens when you fix your diet. When you stop eating processed carbs and lower your insulin, your kidneys stop hoarding sodium and water. You will naturally flush out excess fluid. This is great for reducing bloating, but it acts as a powerful natural diuretic. If you are taking a prescription diuretic or blood pressure medication, and you combine it with this natural drop in pressure, your numbers can plummet too low. This leads to dangerous hypotension. You might stand up too fast and feel dizzy, lightheaded, or even faint. This is not a side effect of the diet being bad. It is a sign the diet is working so well that your medication is now too strong. You must monitor your blood pressure closely and speak to your doctor about deprescribing. Do not stop your meds on your own, but go to your doctor with your data. Ultimately, I want you to walk away from this video with a new perspective. If you have struggled in the past, please hear me. You have not been failing the diet. The data visualization failed you. That pie chart was the wrong map for the territory of your biology. By ignoring the chart and following the simple plate rule, you are doing the real work. You are oiling that rusty lock with low insulin eating. You are refueling your hybrid engine with the right mix of nutrients. You are regaining metabolic flexibility, the freedom to switch between burning food and burning body fat effortlessly, without the crash, without the hunger, and without the brain fog. So, here is your concrete challenge for the next 20 to 4 hours. I want you to eat 7 cups of leafy greens. I know, when you see it raw on the counter, it looks like a mountain. But if you saute that spinach with some garlic and butter, it cooks down to almost nothing. Or chop it up into a massive salad. This volume is your secret weapon to killing hunger and powering your cells. If this video finally clarified the keto confusion for you, please hit the like button right now. It helps us get this science to more people who are stuck. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Check your pantry. What is the one keto snack or protein bar you've been relying on that you now suspect might be stalling your progress? Tell me the brand down below, and let's talk about it.